It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you are watching God, Sex, and Love. Today we're going to have a chat about self-care. So if you're ready to hear about it, then stay tuned.
You need a miracle.
I know.
Welcome to Diva Styles, where it's our pleasure to give you healthy and beautiful hair. We are located at 737 South Hill Street in Griffin, Georgia, 30224. Monday through Wednesday are our Diva special days. You must make an appointment.
Hi, welcome to Diva Style.
Please tell me now this baby. Yes, she is. You really did work a miracle. Yes, it's our pleasure to give you beautiful hair.
Hello everyone, welcome back to God, Sex, and Love. I have two dynamic ladies on the line with me today. First we have a newbie to God, Sex, and Love, Miss Tamara Palomino. Hey ladies.
Hello everyone.
Welcome to God, Sex, and Love, honey.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
No problem, no problem. And then once again, we have Miss Jazz James on the line. You guys know her. Hey, Miss Jazz, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me back.
Yes, indeed, ladies. Thank you all for joining me for this conversation. So I know you guys know that we are talking about self-care today. I know we all could probably come from a lot of different perspectives. So who wants to get going first? Or should I just share my little neighbors? Who wants to go? Who wants to go?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Self-love is important to me because I'm a giver. I have a good heart. So a lot of the times I was putting people before myself. And I've learned now that, people don't have the same heart that I have or have the same intentions that I have. So now I've learned to take time out for myself to, know who I am, what I will deal with, what I won't deal with. And of course, putting God first and directing my path. Like it's been really a beautiful thing for self-care, just having time to read, just having time to think, to, spend time with my children and family members. And of course, with my ministry, I've learned like self-love and self-care is very important because you'll find yourself losing yourself at times when you're putting everybody before yourself.
Yes, indeed. Exactly. Again, before I get into my little stuff, I'll tell you guys my little stuff in a moment. Let me get into Miss Jazz, because she was mentioning to me that she's actually what was that again, Miss Jazz?
Holistic wellness coach.
All right. Okay. So I'm sure you got a lot to tell us about self-care. What you got to say, Miss Jazz?
I feel like self-care is probably one of the most important things ever. We cannot care for anybody else if we have not cared for ourselves first. And I believe that begins with our relationship with God. If we do not take the time to get ourselves right with God every single day, even if it's just 5 minutes, but something every single day at the beginning of the day, then we're not going to have the kind of day that He wants us to have. We're not going to be what we need to be for other people. we're not going to be focused where our focus needs to be. And so just those 5 minutes, if that's all we can do, those 5 minutes at the beginning of the day are so important. And then if we're lucky enough that we can stop and do 5 more minutes and then 5 more minutes, then it's going to be amazing what we can accomplish. And in my wellness practice, I like to focus my self-care on just that, because I feel like everything else falls into place if we put our focus on God first.
Yes. Look, these ladies that came and mic drop, this is like goodbye, end the conversation. That's all we really need right there. I think it's amazing, this whole situation when it comes to COVID and everything like that, because I feel like it definitely put a lot of things in perspective, at least for me. I know you ladies know I'm a new mom now, you know, my little man is 2 years old. And, but even before that, I would say like, I don't know how much self-care I was necessarily giving myself, if that makes any sense, you know. I just kind of was like, and so I feel like COVID and everything kind of slowed me down, you know, it kind of sat me down in a way to really put some perspective. Because then, okay, for example, like maybe I took some things like the beauty aspect. Like sometimes what I would do is like sacrifice my hair or sacrifice get my nails done or all that stuff, because it's like, okay, I'm focused on career stuff. I'm focused on putting my funds towards this project or that project, and I'll put myself to the side, and then next thing I know, I see like my locks are thinning, and you know, all these different things. So I mean, I think that's a part of it too. But so there was a couple of things that I started over since COVID hit that helps me with self-care, or helps to not only remind me, but I'm trying to remind others as well. So one of those things is, as you guys may know, I started a podcast, I was doing a podcast before we had this opportunity to do the show. And with that, because one thing I noticed is like, I want to say some months or something like that, I would think every now and then, like, I need to work out, or I need to, you know, I need to take some time and work out and, you know, stuff like that. That would be something that I think, and I just never would do it. And so when I thought about doing the podcast, I was like, you know what, I'm going to make some time to do all the things that I said I've been wanting to do. So I'm going to get up early in the morning. I'm going to work out or do some type of warming up or working out. I'm going to, you know, pray and meditate and everything like that. And then I'm going to just take some time out for the Word of God. And then I hopefully have something to talk about on the podcast. That's kind of what my mindset was. And I would say, like, I started that April 1st of this year. And what we in now, like, I mean, you know, we're in November now. You know, so the thing is, it's like, it's been an active thing in my life now, to where it got to the point where at some point my husband started to notice. He's like, so if I didn't get up exactly at 4, he's like, you getting up for the juice, you know? So it's like, it's become a thing in our household now that, you know, I get up at 4 and I do this thing. But that's my time for, you know, like I said, the working out aspect. That's my time with God. And then I just have to just, after I do all of that, share with the people, you know, whatever God leads me to talk about on, you know, in the mornings and stuff like that. And so, like you all said, that, you know, God's relationship, that's a part of the self-care for sure. Like, that's the start, right? But then I let that even trickle into like business endeavors and stuff like that, because I have a group. I think both of you ladies are a part of it. It's called Unwind. And in that, like, yeah, okay, I'm showing you guys products and stuff, but at the same time too, I just was like, maybe this can just be a group for ladies where I'm just reminding us to take time to unwind, whether that is, you know, unwinding with a glass of wine, or whether that's like self-care, do your nails, girl, or just something. Hey, go get you some time away. You guys know I got a she shed now, so I go, you know, get some time away from the baby and be like, okay, husband, little man needs some man time. I need to go unwind, like, you know, because you know, you just, at least for me, I found those times where I'm getting, not say just frustrated with being a mom, but I just think I don't want to take out any frustrations on, you know, my family. So I just need to take that time to unwind and just let me have a moment. Like, let me just go and have that minute and stuff like that. So that's just some stuff I've incorporated over COVID. Mm-hmm. What about you, ladies? Like,
you know what? It's funny that you say that, because I was already like getting up early in the morning. I watch on Facebook Car Chronicles. I've been watching it for like 6 years. And last year I started my walk. and I started watching Key Powerment and their sisters, ministers. And in March, like when COVID first came, it had already been out. It was new. I was actually on my way to work, and it was just crazy. Like out the blue, I got dressed and everything, and on my way to work, I heard guys say, go home, email your job, and tell them like, no, you can't take the risk. He said, be still and know that I'm God. And I jumped out there on faith, and I did just that. So I'm like you. I have a routine. I get up early in the morning to get my word, to feed my spirit. I had a chance to spend more time with my children. That's something that we wasn't doing because we were so used to routine. Get up, get the kids ready for school, get breakfast done, go to work, come home, cook dinner, bath time. You really didn't have time to do those things. And I can honestly say, like, this year alone has brought me so many opportunities just by me sitting still and knowing and believing that he was God. And he has moved mountains. Like I said, I was presented the opportunity, to become Atlanta president over, the Precious Unique Foundation. I started my Bloomsicle. That's a word that he gave me last year, So I'm seeing those things come to pass, and I'm more than grateful because I really have had a chance to like sit down, be still, get in a quiet place, get a personal relationship with God versus me having to run to church at 11 o'clock. I'm able to get a lot more accomplished by sitting still and knowing that he's God. And I'm grateful for that.
COVID is a horrible, horrible, horrible thing. And I don't want to take anything away from that. But COVID has also brought a lot of good in our society. It has caused us to slow down. We're focusing more on the family. And we now have more time to focus on ourselves and on our personal needs. Because as women, we always put everybody else first, and we focus on ourselves last. It's what we're taught to do. Women are supposed to be selfless and giving and that sort of thing. And that's great. We should be. But we cannot forget ourselves. We have to focus on ourselves as well. And I've heard so many women say, well, yeah, ever since COVID hit, I thought I was going to be running crazy trying to homeschool the kids and do this and do that. But I'm hearing more and more women say, I have time now to do those things that you've talked about I need to do, that, I need to just take a few minutes for myself. I need to take a bubble bath. I need to do my nails, that sort of thing. And, I never had time to do that before, and now I can. And so I'm glad that something great has come out of this horrible situation. But I hope when things do return to normal one day, that we don't just automatically revert to those old routines and get into those old ruts again.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, now I would say I don't think I'm fully there yet. Like I would love to get to a place where I've really built a routine with my, my family and everything like that. I think I'm getting there with incorporating, my morning stuff. And then at some point I was kind of doing some stuff with NJ, even though it was like my mom was doing like a virtual class with him. So we're 1-year-old, 2-year-old doing virtual class. Yeah. But he was like working with my mom online and everything like that. We kind of slowed up with that a bit, but at least at some point it kind of got that routine going, because it's like, okay, I know in the morning I'm doing this. Maybe I have an hour or two before he'll wake up. I'll get him breakfast. I will let him work with my mom. So I know at some point as he gets older, we do really need to start incorporating him, learning and stuff like that. But then I feel like I want to add more to the routine to like get things going or get things better around here in our house. I feel like, I definitely, I'm still kind of lacking in some areas and stuff. But I guess even with all that being said, like you say, like, even though I guess I feel like some routines may be good, but then, getting into the routine of forgetting God, like you said, or, not taking that time for yourself, then I think that's probably where we can kind of get into, maybe some problem areas, because like you both have already mentioned, it's like you can't necessarily, whether it be pouring out into, whatever God wants you to do to pour out to others, it's like, can't pour from an empty vessel, as they say.
Right.
So, yeah, man, self-care. Self-care is important. As all these ladies, both these ladies have just said that it's very important. So do you guys have any, I know you said you have some morning routines, Tamara, but like, is there anything that you do throughout the day that you're like, okay, I'm going to make every day, I'm going to take out that time, or Miss Jazz, or?
And I have a calendar, and on that calendar I list everything that I would like to get done, even my self-care. I schedule my self-care in, but it's not a cut and dried, I'm going to do this at this time, I'm going to do this. It's more like a wish list of things that I want to do and I hope to accomplish. Mm-hmm. And that way, if it's just I hope I accomplish these things, then if I don't, I'm not beating myself up over it. I feel like a lot of times we get into that rut of routines, and then it's like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this. Well, that's no longer self-care. That's an obligation, and it doesn't bring you the joy that it needs to bring you. Mm-hmm. So in my morning routine, for instance, it always starts out with those 5 or 10 minutes with God. But, then there's meditation. There's, I take the time to cook myself a good, healthy breakfast. Things like that. I like to read. Since COVID hit, instead of listening to audiobooks all the time, I've started reading. And at first it was just 1 or 2 pages because I was like, God, this is so hard. I don't know when reading became so hard, but it's just so hard to make myself sit and focus. And so I've been making myself do that. And it seems like as time goes on, I can read, oh, now I'm up to like 6 pages before I'm like, okay, I can't do this anymore. But I have this list of things, 5 or 6 things that I want to get done before 10 o'clock. And I've just gotten to the point where if I get 3 of them done, it's a great day. It doesn't have to be everything on the list. It just has to be what I can get done. Now, there's other things in life, the appointments that you do have to do, and that's a whole different story. But I think sometimes we put too many demands on ourselves. Well, I have to do my self-care with my nails today. I have to get that in. Well, then it's no longer self-care.
Right.
That's an obligation, and we need to get out of that mindset. Sometimes self-care is just giving yourself permission not to do self-care.
I absolutely agree with that, because you know what, like I said before, we were so used to having routine, and now, like I have certain things that I do have a routine, like getting up at 5:30 to take that time, when the children are sleeping, to get my word in. So I do sacrifice that time, but if I miss it, I can always go back and replay, or it feels so good not to have, like you said, per se, a routine, because, it does beat yourself down and make you feel like you fail at certain, things that you wanted to get done. But sometimes we're human, it's just the nature of the beast, So during COVID, I have really, really, really humbled myself more. I see a total change in my attitude. I'm more patient, and I don't know. For me, COVID has really been, like I said, of course, I'm sorry for the ones that have lost loved ones. I have also, but in the end, it has really, 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 truly birthed something out of me. It pushed a lot of entrepreneurs to get out here and say, okay, I don't have a choice. I can't go to work because I have to homeschool my children. So now I have to find something to make a revenue, or, you make it happen, you make it happen. And that's what I've learned throughout this whole ordeal with COVID. At first, let me tell you, it was so funny because I literally barricaded me and my children in a house. No, I had notes, but the Lord gave me a release date, and once He released me, everything started flowing. Like I said, my Bloom support started flowing. I got the opportunity to become a president of a women's foundation, just doing different things with my children, and I've noticed them being more patient also, so it's truly been a lesson and also a blessing.
Yes.
I agree, ladies. I agree. I was trying to think, so I know we kind of talked about some things that we personally do. I don't know. I guess what do you guys think in regards to, I say group self-care, but I don't know. I guess that's a random question, a random thought is kind of about like I said, I know I started my group to just kind of remind ladies to say okay, ladies, don't forget to take time once to unwind. Hey, this is what I'm doing to unwind today. What are y'all doing? Or whatever, things like that. And I know you have Bloom to Fool for your group as well.
Yes.
So So, I mean, I guess we all agree that it's important to just take some, do we say daily time? Some type of daily time to self-care?
Yes.
Yes.
But we all agree that mostly that's kind of like just, spending that time with God in regards to either reading the word or something like that. So that's kind of what I do every day. But I do believe in those do nothing days as well, like y'all said, like every now and then, this may be a day that we just don't do nothing.
Exactly. Right. Just a lazy pajama day. Just sit back and lounge kind of day. Yes.
Yeah. I can appreciate those too. And I guess since I know you ladies say that, not doing routines. I guess because I guess maybe these are things that I had in my mind. Like when I was pregnant, I was like, okay, I'm going to have, because I know me and my husband, we can be kind of lackadaisical sometimes. And we're like, oh, we'll get to that, whatever. Or we'll do this, whatever. So I'm like, man, when we have a child, we're going to have some more structure around here, So in my mind, I was like, maybe I do need to incorporate routines and stuff like that. And so, because I haven't been doing any type of routine. So, but at the same time, too, like you said, balance. So I probably shouldn't do too much, but still make sure to still incorporate some routine. Like, I think that's, I don't know, how can y'all help me with that? Like, have you ladies been at any struggle in that area when it comes to between routines and?
Of course, that's natural. You want, like she said before, like Jazz said, you want to get some things done, but sometimes the time don't allow you to get those things done. And you can't beat yourself up because, like she said, that's not self-love or self-care. You have to just have to go with the flow of, like she said, she has a calendar. I don't have a calendar. I'm pretty much just like a go with the flow type of person. If it happened, it happened. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But back in before COVID, I would get upset if I had something planned and it didn't happen. Now I'm more relaxed on it. Like, okay, you know what? Take a breather. I'll get it done tomorrow. No biggie. I can do that tomorrow. But it's very imperative that we do take the time, away from the children, away from the TV, maybe just to listen to some music. Like music really soothe my spirit. Something serious. I relax when I hear music, So that's how I deal with my self-love and my self-care. And also I enjoy interacting with people. So a lot of times I'll go into my group and just post things and just to see the reactions or, the comments and give feedback, like on my group, I'm really good at commenting back. Like if I say good morning, someone come on and say good morning. A lot of groups you don't hear from them. You can say good morning 250 days a week. You'll never see the author or the owner of the group respond back. And that's kind of deterring to a lot of people because they came to your group seeking something, they click that button because of the description that you gave to your group. So that's important to me also. Not necessarily the likes or whatever, but the interaction just to hear, other people's opinion, what are you going through? Or how do you feel about this right here or this Bible verse? Or, should we have a date night, a movie night? So be it. So that right there helps me also.
Girl, don't get me started talking about these Facebook groups, girl.
I know.
None of this stuff you talking about we supposed to be bonding, but it ain't lining up. Things ain't lining up. Right. And that's what forced me to do a group because I'm like, come on, I'm supporting your group and you never ever say hello. It's that what's the purpose of the group? Are you doing it just for likes or what? I want to be kind of personal. And I even have it where you can post in my group without me without getting permission. As long as it's clean, I like humor, it's a no judgment zone, but you have to set standards. Okay, you put something up here, somebody twerking, that's not my lane. You know what I mean? So I'll block you. You can't post no more. So now I'm gonna have to babysit what you post. So now you'll get it. Just go up and down the timeline and see what we're on. I don't mind you posting funny videos and stuff, but the nudity and the guns and stuff, that's not what I stand for, so I just, I try to keep it really nice and pleasant and have humor in there, and be cordial to everyone that's in the group because I'm grateful that you even took the time to join, because a lot of people, they're not into groups, but a lot of people that's in my groups, they're pretty active in it, and I love it.
I feel like Facebook groups really have a place in our lives right now during COVID, where everybody feels so isolated. That is our way to keep our community together, our community with our peers, with our, church, whatever. Everybody's migrating more to these groups, and we're so separate, but we're still able to maintain that relationship and maintain that closeness. I feel like that is so important.
Yes.
Exactly. Ooh, y'all trying to talk. Look, we switching the conversation to groups now, y'all. I'm telling y'all now, I got some stories now. I don't want to get into.
Let's go. We want to hear them. That's what we're here for, guys. Sex and love. We talking. Let's do it. Tell us some stories. Let's tell our testimonies. Let's get it out there.
Can we go back to self-care though? The conversation to go back to. I guess I'm just thinking about some of the groups because, I just don't like the ones where they'll try to monitor what you do, but then they'll turn around and do the same thing. And it's like, so why was it monitored then? Like, for example, I didn't go live in a group, but I shared a live video. Because if I say what okay. So basically it's a group, I won't say what the group is, but it's a group that kind of was talking about like, if you have outdoor spaces. So like I said, I have a she shed now because that's my space, right? So ladies are sharing their spaces. So I had just finished the she shed and I just went live, and I was doing it in another. I think I just went live on my page, but I just happened to share it in the group because I'm like, okay, maybe these ladies would like to see how I did my she shed, and they want to like monitor and take my thing down, and I'm like, what? I've seen people post videos in this group before, like. So why is my video being taken down, but then maybe a day or so later somebody else's video is cool? I'm like,
because your love has set me free. I'm alive. There's no time to get my nails done. Oh, I know. I went to unwindselfcare.com and got my 100% nail polish strips. Thanks, Unwind Self-Care.
thank you so much for watching God, Sex, and Love, and thank you to all the panelists who joined the conversation. I hope that you all are encouraged and found ways to, add to your own self-care routines. And see you all next time. Bye-bye. I guess I'm just thinking about some of the groups because, I just don't like the ones where they'll try to monitor what you do, but then they'll turn around and do the same thing. And it's like, so why was it monitored then? Like, for example, I didn't go live in a group, but I shared a live video because if I say what okay. So basically it's a group, I won't say what the group is, but it's a group that kind of was talking about like, if you have outdoor spaces. So like I said, I have a she shed now because that's my space, right? So ladies are sharing their spaces. So I had just finished the she shed and I just went live, and I was doing it in another. I think I just went live on my page, but I just happened to share it in the group because I'm like, okay, maybe these ladies would like to see how I did my she shed, And they want to like monitor and take my thing down, and I'm like, what? I've seen people post videos in this group before, like. So why is my video being taken down, but then maybe a day or so later somebody else's video is cool? I'm like,
yeah. You have to keep it fair straight across the board. But, that's why I created the group that I did, because I want people to be able to express themselves, hey, I'm having a bad day. Can somebody pray for me? Or, let's strike up a conversation, And I another thing that I didn't like, and what pushed me to do the groups is because a lot of groups are charging people to advertise. And I'm like, okay, the page is free, So I don't do that. I encourage my, group members, hey, advertise your gifts. Let your gifts make room for you. That's what we're here for. We're here to encourage one another and build each other up, not tear each other down. So that was very important to me. And that's why I started. And I'm pretty lenient. Like I'm on there all the time. But like I said, certain stuff I just don't stand for. Like I'm not there no more, but I'm not knocking it. Like if you want to post something like, hey, I did X, Y, and Z back in the day. What did you do? I don't mind having those conversations, So a lot of groups that I think that they do it, just for clout, to see how many group members. It's not about the quantity, it's the quality of the group for me, So that's why I try to keep inside of the group that I have. And I'm also a part of your group. I'm part of another one of my friends' group. Like she has a group, but we all, post our stuff in each other group. And I love it. I really love that. That's very encouraging to me that I can post, I may feel something like, okay, this might be good for her group. Like I'll put you in my group, hey, check her page out. That's how we build and build a rapport. And we, like I said, it takes a village. It really does. And at this time with COVID, it's going to take a village,
Yep. And I thought about how to bring it back to self-care.
Okay, come on.
So, like I said, I shared with you guys my she shed. All right. Now, long story short, I honestly made a she shed because I want to make this room in the house. I want to make it my son's room. So that's my next project after I get done with what I'm doing this month. I'm like, yeah, my next project is making my son his room because we need that to happen.
Yeah.
So, but not that he's bad, but it's just like, he needs somewhere to play. He needs his own space, but so speaking of she sheds, I know people make like prayer closets and they actually will make a place that is their place to spend time with God and everything like that. So do you ladies have a space like that, or are you interested in making a space like that?
I actually did a prayer closet. And when I tell you, I used to sleep in there. And it was so peaceful. I woke up in the morning so refreshed and just being in there, spending that intimate time. Like when I did it right before COVID, and it just gave me so much clarity. Like I would go in there and I even had like the wall where I can put up prayers for different people that I was praying for and what I wanted to pray for. I had a prayer box. I had like the little candles that you can, put the little batteries in. And that right there really helped me start my journey and my walk, because I wasn't where I wanted to be at the time. And it's like the Lord pricked my spirit, like, okay, you need to do a prayer closet. And I did it. And once I did it, man, I'm telling you, things had not been the same since. Like a prayer closet is very good because you can have your personal time. It is to the point where my babies, like they would tell other people, like, no, you can't go in there. That's mommy's prayer closet. They knew that. And they love coming there and sleeping with me. It was just like a space of my own, where I can just go in there and close the door. And it was in my actual closet.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen some really cool things that people have done. I mean, I guess maybe they were inspired by War Room or something like that, but I've seen some like really cool things that people have done on like Pinterest and stuff like that. So, hey, y'all, that might be something, especially if you look, I'm in a house full of men right now. I got my son and my husband. So little space that's like, okay, this is my space.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Ms. Jazz? You got a room or you got like a certain...
I have an area.
Mm-hmm.
I have an area. It's I have a vegetable garden outside, and our growing season in West Texas is very long because it's so warm here. And I just go outside, and I go out every morning. I water, I weed, I harvest my fruit and whatever's out there. Bring everything I've harvested onto the steps to the back porch, and then I sit there and I just look and just experience just being outside, and I pray and think about what I'm going to do throughout the day, and I pray about that, and it's just a really calm, peaceful time. And I have found that when I'm stressed out about something, I'll go sit out there and
Mm.
it's just my place to get away.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really cold tomorrow, and so I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to water and I'm going to harvest. I'm not going to stay out in the cold, I'm sure. But I'm going to have to come up with a game plan for when it's cold outside.
But that's beautiful though. Like that's awesome. Look, she said she reaping the real harvest too.
I'm telling you, you know what? I want to garden also. Like I thought about that. So that is wonderful because you do have like you're out in the open. You can talk to God and also hear from Him out there. You know, so that is beautiful.
I might have a suggestion. So my she shed is made out of a greenhouse.
Mm.
Oh,
So maybe greenhouse.
Yes.
Because like when I was trying to decide how I wanted to make the like my first thought was just to get like a shed and just just a regular shed or something. But then I was like, when I really started thinking about it, I was like, okay, you know what, Miracle, you about to invest some money into this or whatever the case is. What would you really like, And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, okay, I wouldn't mind having natural light, and everything like that. And I came across these beautiful she sheds, like the type that people make out of glass windows, and I'm like, that's cool. But I'm like, but how much would that cost? Like, how can I do that for less money? So that's why that's why I got the greenhouse, because it's the next best thing, and it has given for like there's sometimes in the mornings where I would be out there. I used to record the juice out there. I kind of slowed up. Well, I record it now, but I used to. But anyway, I used to do my whole routine out there with the working out and praying and everything like that. And I would get to see the sunrise, when I got done. Or I ended up putting these stakes that look like tiki torches, but then I say like because they're not like fire, but they look like fire.
Mm-hmm.
Those types out there. And so when I would be out there, it would be dark when I first go out. And it would just kind of give that illusion of how, how if you go to a restaurant or you go somewhere and they got like a fire pit or something, it kind of gave that, like there was this fire pit outside or this fire thing outside, and it was, because I have my light. My only thing about the she shed is though, that when I turn my light on, because I usually have like the the umbrella lights and stuff, because I just got studio stuff. So that's the type of light I have out there, and I would have like moths and stuff like hitting the she shed or hitting the greenhouse. So it's like I wasn't. That's the part that I was like, oh wow, because that takes away from the peace a little bit.
Right.
But other than that, I love that it's a greenhouse. I love to be able to see outside of it. And yeah, man, if you have to take that time or take a space or make a space, I think that would probably help us with our self-care routines and stuff as well. So good stuff, ladies.
Yes.
So, I want to belong your ladies' time. So if there's anything else you all want to share with the people about self-care, what would it be? Or
I feel like for me personally, my biggest form of self-care is, and I don't want this to sound anyway, my biggest form of self-care is just a healthy diet and nutrition and focusing on what my body needs. I was like a junk food addict and like always had a cup of coffee in my hand, craved sugar, loved sugar, addicted to sugar, all of that. I did that my whole life. That was me. And about 6 months ago, I'd had some health issues for, probably the last 10 years, and I never could figure out the cause. And about 6 months ago, I figured out what was going on, and it was cured with proper diet and nutrition. That's why I have the garden, because I want everything that I eat to be organic, and I changed my diet to a plant-based diet. I found out what works for me, and I'm not saying what works for me is what works for everybody else. I'm saying this is what works for me. This is what I do for myself, because it's what I need to be happy, healthy, and whole. And I just feel like everybody needs to find that thing. That's what it is for me. So what is it for you? You need to find that thing. And, I take great pleasure in pulling zucchini out of my garden and going and making a casserole out of it and eating that casserole and know that it's not going to make me sick like food did in the past. Food became my enemy. And now it nourishes my body. And to me, that's a form of worship. Me eating that zucchini casserole is a form of worship. And because God gave it to me. It grew out of the ground. God gave it to me. I praise him for it. I thank him for it. And that's me worshiping him. And so I feel like every person has something like that in their life, and they need to find out what that something is, and they need to live it.
Yes.
That is so beautiful, Miss Jazz.
That is, I'm telling you. It really is. For me, like I like to walk, and I love water. So I like now I don't drink regular water. I drink the alkaline water. And I find like it doesn't fill me up like regular water would. So it does kind of push me to eat like more vegetables, more fruits, more salads. Try to stay away from, the red meats or whatnot. I'm a work in progress, but she's absolutely right. Like we kind of are what we eat, and it kind of make you groggy, restless, like eating a lot of that stuff. So I totally agree with her. Like I don't eat candy, a lot of sweets and stuff like that anymore. So that's been like my goal is to ultimately cut as much meat as I can and eat more, vegetables and fruit.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, I guess I just eat everything.
Which say miracle, I eat everything.
But I guess my self-care has come from, like I was saying to you all earlier, being intentional about the time that I take out in the morning, being intentional about, like, okay, I can't say I do the routine every time. So that's why I kind of, when I am talking on the podcast, I'm like, so yeah, I didn't do the full routine, or I did do it, or whatever the case, or I modified it today, or whatever the case is. But for the most part, just being intentional about taking out that time in the morning has really helped me. And I hope that it's helping others too, but it does something to me as well to take out that time. Because again, it's like I'm taking out that time to warm up or work out or whatever you want to call it. Because I wouldn't say it's as strenuous as doing like all the weights and stuff, but I mean, it's doing something compared to the nothing that was doing, right? Yeah. And then, like I said, and then there's actually been some apps that I kind of, so it's like a Christian meditation app. And so after I do my routine of working out or whatever, then I would listen to the app and pray. And then after that, God would give me something to say for the podcast. And so then I record that. And so, like I said, being intentional and taking that intentional time every day, it feels good. I do it every day with the exception of Sunday. So, but I would say like those first few times that I didn't do it, it felt weird. It was like, oh, wow, I'm missing something, so. Yeah, I mean, I've been enjoying it. It's been like over 100 some days now, whatever. So I'm just like, hopefully I'll keep that as a part of my self-care routine. And like I said, even being able to just, take care of my hair from home, like, cause that was something that I would just let it go. I wouldn't do anything until I went to someone to get it done. And so COVID and everything made me more intentional to be like, okay, these are things I want to do. I want to get my nails done every month, and I wanted to get my hair done every month. These are goals that I was working towards, right? COVID made me be like, okay, I'll just buy some hair stuff and start to just do my own hair. And then I got into the nail polish business, whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool, easy way to do my own nails. And so yeah, it's like once a month I'll try to take out that time to do those things. And I mean, I see my hair growing, and I see my nails, growing or whatever. So I'm like, taking that time for myself and doing those things, I think have helped. So I think all the things that we shared today can definitely help. So if anybody is looking for, ways to get started or anything, I think any of the things that these ladies just say should hopefully help you all. So like I said, I don't want to be long on your time, ladies. I just want to thank you both again so much for joining me for this conversation. And I look forward to having you all involved in many, many more conversations, ladies. Thank you so much again.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
Well, good night. Good night.
Good night. Great night, Jazz. It was nice meeting you.
Good to meet you too, Tamara.
There's no time to get my nails done. I know. I went to unwindselfcare.com and got my 100% nail polish strips. Thanks, Unwind Self Care.